How do you ask investors for money when you pitch? Imagine this scene. You've just finished your investor pitch and you think the pitch has gone well. However, you don't know what to say. More importantly, you don't know how to ask investors for the money you need. I've witnessed hundreds of startup CEOs not know how to ask for the money. The good news is I'm going to solve this problem for you today. In today's video, I'll explain to you how not to ask for funding when you're pitching investors, the foolproof way to ask for funding when you're pitching investors, and finally, the other critical questions you need to ask investors for when you're done with your pitch. You'll want to wait for that one. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Let's get started. How not to ask for funding when you're pitching investors. Let me start with a story. About 1 year ago, I was working with Ken on his pitch deck. Ken showed me the last slide. It was his ask slide. This is where he was, quote unquote, asking investors for the money. The slide looks something like this. Ken said to me, "What do you think of the slide?" I looked at Ken's slide and I said, "I don't like it." Why? Ken seemed surprised. The ask is clear, isn't it? And indeed, the ask was clear, as you can see. "I know it is," I said, "but bear with me as I explain why this is the wrong way to go about this." Ken nodded his head, and I continued. "The slide is completely unnecessary," I said. "There's nothing of value here to investors. In fact, the bit about the valuation can only hurt you." Okay, let me explain what's going on here. The ask slide with the use of funds is completely unnecessary because your pitch deck already explains how you're going to use your funds. It's the plan you've laid out in your deck. Providing a pretty graph with percentages for personnel, CapEx, product development, and marketing and sales might look nice, but who cares? Oh, and let me explain why you don't want to tell investors the percentage they're going to get. Number one, you can give a valuation that's too high and you'll scare the investor away because they'll think you're going to be difficult to work with. Or number two, you give a valuation that's too low and you cost yourself money. Or number three, yes, you could get it right, but the odds are you won't. Remember, investors negotiate investment terms for a living and you don't. Let's move on to the foolproof way to ask for funding when you're pitching investors. So, if having an ask slide is the wrong way to ask for funding, what's the right way to ask for funding? That's what I'm going to explain to you right now. It's really simple. You have a row in your financial slide that simply says investment or cash flow from financing, just like LinkedIn did in this example. Then it's clear to everyone the funds you've already raised and the funds you're planning on raising. This works regardless of what stage your company is at, whether you're raising funds for Series B, like LinkedIn was, or if you're raising seed funding. That's it. Then you have to calmly verbalize the ask. If you were LinkedIn CEO Reid Hoffman, you'd just say, we're raising $9.75 million in this round. Now for the final part, which is the most important part of how to ask for funding. The other critical question you need to ask investors when you're done with your pitch. Great, you've asked for the money. And yes, you can stop there because investors will likely ask you some questions about where you're at in the process if they're interested. But you're missing a golden opportunity to get closer to funding. Here's the critical question you need to ask investors. What concerns do you have about investing in our company? Yeah, you want to know investors' concerns, and this is the perfect time to do it because you're in front of them. So you can answer these questions right then and there. So, you're going to get one of three answers to this question. Number one, you'll get detailed questions you can answer. Number two, you'll get an indication the investor isn't interested. Or number three, you'll hear something like this: I don't have any questions. On the odd chance the investor says, I don't have any questions or concerns, then you should smile and say, great, when can we expect a term sheet? You'll either hear more about their process to get a term sheet, or suddenly they'll have concerns. Either way, you're moving closer to an investment. Remember, just because an investor doesn't tell you they have concerns doesn't mean they don't have concerns. Just as importantly, the investor respect for you will increase because it shows you're not afraid to ask tough questions or hear criticism. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit that like button right now. Here's a summary of what we've learned today. Number one, an ask slide showing the use of funds is useless and doesn't help your cause. Number two, the foolproof way to share with investors how much money you're asking for is simply to add a row in your financial slide. And number three, asking investors what concerns they have is the ideal question to ask after you've asked for the money. Now, what did you learn from today's video? Put your answer in the comments column below today's video. And if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments column too, and I'll be happy to answer them. Now, I have one more thing for you today. It's my free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides you need to develop an awesome pitch deck. Click the link below today's video, and it's yours for free. And for more great content, click on the link at the end of today's video. And if you haven't already, then click the subscribe button to get notified every time I release a new video. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.